I wanted to film about watercolors and I guess, yeah, like how I muck around with them. I actually got this set of Schminke watercolors like about 10 years ago. And it was actually like, now that I think about it, like really interesting, really nice. I was working at this company and I was leaving and they actually got it for me as a gift. And I think like, yeah, it was like a really expensive set. So that was so generous of them to do that. And I'd actually had no experience with watercolors, but I just love watercolors. And like I've been seeing a lot of work by, like this was like 10 years ago, but I think his name is, I'm gonna just look him up just to make sure. Mark Adams. Yeah, so I'd seen a lot of like Mark Adams watercolors, and honestly like now that I actually like have the watercolors and I've used them, I'm like, yes, that's like, his work is so like deceptively simple that, yeah, like it's actually much harder than than it looks, I think. And so, yeah, like I was really wanting to sort of start doing work like that. But obviously, yeah, like, I don't know, that's really hard. And I think you kind of need to be a professional for that. But yeah, like, I guess I'll just show you like what I kind of started working on. I'll actually show you the set first. So at the time, like 10 years ago, this set was probably, I feel like, because I was in Sydney, so it was maybe like $150. And so for them to buy that for me, like that's honestly, that's like so nice. This is the Schminke. It's a 24 pan set. I think it's called like the Horror Dam set or something like that. Yeah, I guess I'll also talk about whether I think it's worth it or not. So first, I guess, I think I've had it for ages and I think I was just pretty much using it to make washes, you know, like over like other drawings that I was doing, or like just to quickly fill in color or something like that. So I wasn't really using it as it was intended. So like I think the colors are really nice, they layer really well, like they don't get muddy, you know, like, so there's just like a lot of properties about it that like make them really good watercolors. But obviously, like if you're not like a professional, you really don't need this. You really don't need that. Yeah, I think I only started taking it seriously in 2024. And by taking it seriously, I mean buying watercolor paper. So I didn't even know that. Like, so 10 years ago when I got this set, I didn't even know like you kind of need special paper for it to work really well, you know? So I was doing a bunch of drawings, a bunch of paintings, I guess, in another sketchbook that was just regular paper. And yeah, it just didn't look like, you know, it didn't look anything special. And before this, I'd actually used the Koh-i-Noor, like it's like a cylinder stacked of watercolors. I think everybody kind of maybe starts out with these and they know these. And those are actually pretty good. Like, honestly, now that I'm like thinking about it, I'm kind of like, I kind of want to get like a set of that because it's actually really portable, really light. And for what I'm doing, like it's probably enough. Yeah, but yeah, so I started like really taking it seriously, as in like I bought professional watercolor paper. So I'm just gonna go through my sketchbook and have a look at my watercolor sketchbook. So yeah, April 2024 is when I really started, even though I'd had this set for 10 years. Yeah, this is the first page, blank first page, of course. And this is just a sketchbook. I think it's just like probably a student watercolor sketchbook that I got from Vesna. And so I started doing things like this, just kind of testing it out because, you know, I'd never used watercolor paper before. So this is like another one that I did. These are snuff bottles. I really went through a snuff bottle phase. I just thought they were so beautiful and like they had really cool shapes. And I guess, you know, I was trying to do things with highlights and stuff like that. But yeah, like, again, I don't really know what I'm doing. This is like a bonsai. Again, I don't really know how to like mix the colors. Yeah, like it's pretty, like it doesn't look like a Mark Adams. So yeah, like if you, I'll put some pictures of like Mark Adams work so you can have a look. But yeah, like it's definitely doesn't look like a Mark Adams sort of piece of work. This is like another bonsai that I did in pink. And then again, now here I'm just playing and trying to understand like how the paper works. Like I actually think it's really nice paper, and I might just want to get this sketchbook not for watercolors, like just for using, I think like pencil or markers. So this is just highlighter. I was going through a highlighter phase as well, which I think highlighters are underrated for art. Like I think if you just want to cover like a big space, like I think highlighters are great. And there's so many colors right now. And this is like, yeah, this is what I used. This is like the Schminker. So you can see it's like very average. Again, trying out these bonsais. Like, yeah. Fun to do though, don't get me wrong. Like honestly, like super fun to do. And here I kind of moved on to sort of trying to do something, I guess, yeah, I was trying to do things that are more flat, which I think also completely defeats the purpose of watercolors. There's like a mountain that I was trying. Just some more like sort of flat objects. I was just trying to do something sort of like cutesy. But yeah, you can kind of see here I was using the highlighters. I know it's not like maybe I should do a highlight video. I know it's not a highlight video, but yeah, pretty flat. And then I saw like like not a tutorial, but just kind of like a paint with me, and the artists actually like taped off like a section and was using that to create sort of clean lines, like clean boundaries. And so then I was like, I'm gonna do that too. I'm gonna do that too. And so then that was like something that I really got into. And now I think it was like, yeah, kind of a turning point in my watercolor journey. But still like you gotta practice. I probably need to take a class or something like this, you know? Like I think it's still something that I need to learn. There's like a lot to learn. Yeah, like here are some other sort of things. I went to an art gallery, and so these were just some sculptures that I saw. Like I think this is a really cool shape for a dog. And so I just painted those. Yeah, again, trying to sort of get there with the watercolors. But yeah, it's not, I don't really know what I'm doing yet. And so here are some really like, I kind of, every time I look at this, I do like the way this looks. I think it looks really good. Like I like this bottle and how I like kind of did the highlights on that, and by just leaving the paper blank. And then these ones as well. Just have a look. I think they're cute and simple, and I quite like that. Yeah, I quite like that. But it's so funny. I think this tube looks good. So like, I think I just got to keep practicing. But it was so funny because I was showing my friend, and he was saying, like, wow, it's like so flat, you know, like you don't even really need to use watercolors. Like you could probably just use markers or something else. Like you don't really need watercolors for that. And that was like kind of funny. Yeah, so here's like another sort of, this is like an IKEA chair. This is a jar that I was trying to do something more graphic with it. Again, yeah, like you could definitely use some Tombow markers. You can just buy a bunch of Tombow markers, and yeah, if you bought 24 Tombow markers, I think they're like €3 each. I mean, I still think that's, yeah, I mean, that's still pretty expensive. So I guess, yeah, maybe it's a good deal. I don't know. Because the thing is with these like schminkers, they last forever. Like they don't really go off or anything like that. So you can kind of buy them and yeah, like play with them forever. And I guess, yeah, I've had them for 10 years, used them off and on. And I would say there's still like a lot of paint in there. So there's still so much paint. And so then here, yeah, this one I did of like a Moomin. I hope it's focusing. Yeah. And this one I did of like a Rittersport. Just some shapes, like just trying to practice kind of doing this, yeah, like the highlights and the lowlights and stuff like that. But sometimes I just do like abstract things just to kind of take the pressure off. Because I think, yeah, there's a lot of pressure. I think with watercolors, yeah, I don't know, painting in general, I feel like there's a lot of pressure. This, now I'm trying to sort of be looser, you know, just kind of mixing things. And obviously, like I probably saw some inspiration on Pinterest as well. So I was trying to do sort of loose things, but I don't think it looks great. And then this one is of like a Curetec, I don't know, the Eastern European mole. And this tube again, I think I was really into tubes for some reason. I felt like I could paint tubes really nicely. Yeah. Just trying to like, yeah, freestyle it a little bit. Painting friends, painting dogs, painting furniture, mushroom. It's all kind of random. Oh yeah, this is I remember that I went to that sculpture museum, so I remember that and kind of looked that up and painted that again, just trying to do like the animals in that style. This is with the highlighters, yeah, because I was going through a highlighter phase, probably something I saw on Pinterest. And then I started doing this just because I think the page was too big. You know, the page was too big and I couldn't really handle it. So I kind of was blocking off sort of sections, and actually this is not even with highlighter, I think this is with like markers. Yeah, blocking off the sections, and like this is like a baby bell. And I also wanted to get into practicing, because what I was doing, I was just painting something once and then I just kind of let it go. And yeah, so like this is the first time I painted it, and then yeah, this is the second time I painted it. So kind of trying to paint something more than once and trying with the different colors, because I think I was still learning about the colors as well. So baby bells, yeah, learning about the colors, trying to understand how the colors work and how they blend together and how they, just general color theory. Like I think that's something you kind of need a good grasp on to sort of do that kind of stuff. Yeah, and then I was like looking at some Christoph Niemann paintings, and I thought they were really cool. So I was like, oh, can I do that in this with watercolor? No, like I couldn't really do it, you know? Like I couldn't really do it. And he also doesn't even, I don't even think he uses watercolor. I think he uses ink. So he gets like a much more vibrant color. But I think also it's not really about the medium. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's something that I realized as well. It's like never really about the medium. It's more about like, yeah, like the experience and knowing how to like move the paint around. And like that takes sort of like years to sort of build up. So I definitely don't think I could have, you know, from April to June, like sort of gotten there. And I don't know, I think it would still take me like so many years to kind of figure it out. Yeah, so this is also like with color theory as well, just trying to figure out the colors and like what colors go well together, because the palette has cool colors and warm colors, and I felt like when I was using them, it just like things were just kind of not really blending well or kind of clashing. And so I was trying to figure out like how does that actually work, and how would you actually blend the colors and things like that. And I also felt like, I guess I saw a lot of people using watercolors, but they didn't have this specific set, you know, like they didn't have this specific set. And so like when they would blend colors, it was different, you know, and I was kind of like, oh, I don't really have that color in this set. So that would be another thing as well. Like if you do want to try them out, because they are pretty expensive, you can buy individual pans. Like I wish I just bought like 3 individual pans and kind of messed around with it. And yeah, even though I didn't pay for it, I do feel like it is quite like wasteful. I mean, it does feel like a flex though, not gonna lie. Like, you know, to have this item, it does feel very like luxurious and nice. Yeah, here again, I'm just kind of trying to figure out color theory, like, yeah, how to move the paint around. Yeah, like as well, you know, because like if you're trying to cover a big space, you need a bigger brush, because you do get these marks of like where paint has dried and then you're kind of going over it again. So it's not ideal. Here, yeah, like I'm trying to just be looser, but I like honestly, like I hate the way this looks. I think I've seen other people do it and it looks great, but when I do it, I don't think it looks good, like at all. And then here as well, like again, the tube. So like tube was like a big motif in my watercolor journey. This is not a painting, this is like a sticker. This was like, I guess like a kind of like a sugar packet. And I don't know, I think these look cute, but yeah, like, I don't know, I don't really know like where it goes from here. Cakes, I think this was a Wayne Thiebaud phase. Wayne, is that the name? Let me just, I'll put up a picture of that as well. I think it is Wayne Thiebaud. Yeah, Wayne Thiebaud. The painter, he painted so many, I guess, industrially made cakes and things like that. And that was like very inspiring as well. He doesn't use watercolors, but you know, I think you can take inspiration from it and then, yeah, use your own medium. Just kind of these ones as well. But I don't think, yeah, like, it's just so flat, you know, like it's not really giving what I would expect from watercolors. This as well, like, I guess trying to figure out color theory, trying to paint a mountain. I saw probably something on Instagram where this artist was kind of mixing colors in like a very interesting way where, yeah, like you would kind of get a lot of this, I don't know, this like kind of edge. And I used to get that a lot. Oh, I don't know, actually. I kind of got it a lot and I was like, oh, I don't like it. But then when I saw him do it, I was like, oh, that actually looks really cool. And how do you actually do it intentionally? And obviously, like, you know, I think being an artist, yeah, there's so much practice and experimentation and play that it's just really hard. Like if you have your own style, it's really, really hard for someone else to copy. So yeah, this is a pizza. Probably I was hungry or something like this. Yeah, this is again, like I was doing the grids, trying to fill it in, trying just to make the space a bit smaller so that you could like fill it in. So yeah, I kind of, yeah, got into this, this grid blocking sort of thing again, just because I wanted to make the page a bit smaller. I think also when you do this kind of stuff, I guess it comes from like a fear of ruining like such a big page and doing like a huge bad painting as opposed to like a bunch of tiny good paintings. I mean, I know, I'm sorry, a bunch of tiny bad paintings kind of make one big good painting. Like that's kind of the mentality I think that I had. But yeah, I don't think it does do that. Like I don't think, yeah, like I think with watercolors you might actually want to use like more space, you know, because it is quite a hard medium, and so like if you kind of have a bigger page and a bigger space, you can actually move things around a lot easier. But yeah, I'm kind of only reflecting on this now of what was kind of going on in my head when I was doing this. And yeah, this is just kind of practice, like not practicing, but just swatching. So I had a swatch card and I think I lost it. And I did swatch them when I first got them. I swatched them and I kind of forgot now like what actually the actual colors look like. And I was just kind of using maybe like, yeah, like a very limited color palette because I just couldn't really mix the colors properly. So that's kind of that. And then what was I doing here? Just like these, yeah, like these sort of small pressure-free sort of paintings, and I would get like a pencil and draw it and then kind of, yeah, like put it, color, it's like pretty much like coloring it in, which I feel like, again, yeah, like really kind of, with watercolor, you can do, like if you know how to use it, you can do like a lot more interesting things, and the things just don't, the paintings don't look so flat. And again, yeah, here, kind of the same sort of thing, sort of like a home series, I guess. I think they're cute, but yeah, like again, you don't need like a Schminke watercolor set for work like this. Yeah, I was doing like a bunch of these actually. Yeah, like if that kind of floats your boat. Again, yeah, just kind of this home series, like this everyday like objects. This I did just mucking around, so just a bush. This was during World Cup. No, Euro Cup. This was during Euro Cup 2024. Lidl, my favorite supermarket. And then, yeah, painting, sort of trying to use different mediums. I was like, maybe I should do watercolor and blend it with colored pencils, because I also really like colored pencils. But again, yeah, just kind of messing it up, like, you know, like just over blending it, I would say, you know, like you gotta keep it light. You have to have a light touch. But I think that's really hard, like as a beginner, because you kind of, yeah, there's a tendency to just overwork the painting. And then I was kind of going through a phase where I was like, oh, what I should be doing actually is doing something and then trying to do it again, you know? So just kind of really experimenting, because I think I was also getting caught up in like, I didn't know what to paint, like, you know, but then I thought, you know what, like, let's just paint the same thing. And so I think that's kind of where it ends. Yeah, that's where it ends. And then pretty much I'm just kind of doodling and sort of stress coloring in and stress doodling. things like that. Yeah. Oh yeah, this is probably like the last one that I did of like, yeah, again, that sort of grid painting with like filling in the colors. But this is actually not with the Schminker set. This is actually with a Gansai Tambi set. So I think I just bought a Gansai Tambi set and I was testing it out. So Gansai Tambi I think is also a really good affordable option. Like if you want to like kind of like muck around with paints, because I also think they're pretty high quality and yeah, they have like really nice colors. So yeah, that's it for that. And so how much of that did I get through? Yeah, I think 60-70% of the way through. So that's kind of what I did with that one. And then I was thinking, yeah, you know, because I was like, oh, it's such a big book, even though I think it's only A5. I was like, this is such a big book. So I got like a smaller, cheaper watercolor sketchbook, because also watercolor paper is so expensive. I wanted to try out sort of just doing some smaller watercolors. And so this is kind of like the first one I did. I think it's quite cute, but again, yeah, I don't really, like, as a medium, like, I don't really know how to use it. But honestly, the colors are, like, so nice and so vibrant. So you really cannot, like, fault it there. It's just, yeah, you kind of need to know sort of how to wield it, you know, and how it actually works. So these were the ones I did in June. Yeah, I went on a trip to China, and I guess these are some of the photos that I had. This is like the watermelon. And these are just a bunch of practices of the same thing. Like I pretty much just wanted to paint kind of the same thing over and over again and not like stress myself out too much. So yeah, this one. Yeah, so you can see here what I did was I kind of outlined it and I was like, I don't know, does that look good? And then I did like this one. They're just all variations of like the same thing. Yeah, it's my watermelon era. I'm back in my Baby Bell era. Baby Bell era. These are like different colors. So like, yeah, because there's like, you know, there's a couple of reds and a couple of different blues in there. And so I kind of wanted to see like which colors actually made sense together. Then I bought like some pastels and then I was just trying out sort of the same thing. I would recommend that actually, because this book is like it's a pretty small book. So you can kind of, it's a pretty small book. So you can kind of, yeah, like do the same thing and you just have like a sketchbook full of the same sort of work. And I don't know, I kind of think that's like very cool as well. This is like from the market as well. Sorry, I'm just trying to like, can I keep this? Just trying to like not have so many shadows. Maybe that's okay. Yeah, I'm trying to paint these flowers. And then this one I did the flower, I did the painting, and then it was kind of a bit of a mess, so I just got like a ballpoint pen and tried to create some definition. And yeah, and I guess there's like a few more pages of this. And so I'll try to finish that up. But again, yeah, like I'm not like you have to finish the sketchbook kind of person. So I'm pretty like chill with that kind of stuff. So after that, I was kind of like, I think what I actually need to do is take it to the next level, and I need to throw even more money at this little endeavor. So I got these Arches watercolor paper, and this is, I guess, I think it's the name in watercolor paper. Like everybody who's a kind of a professional uses this. I'm not a professional, but I am a person who gets trapped into the art supply, what is it, vortex, expensive art supply vortex. Because I think, I'm always like, oh yeah, but like if I had the best stuff, I'll probably make even better art. And that's not true. Like that's not true at all. Like you don't need that. You need to take a class probably. That's probably the main thing. That's probably what you should invest in. Taking a class and taking time, you know, like if you, yeah, like I think there are people who are like just naturally good at it, but I don't know, I'm kind of also accepting that I'm probably not one of those people. And so I got this one, which is a like cold press watercolor, and so it's like it has like this grain. I don't know if that's like kind of obvious and clear. I hope it's also hard for me to tell if it's focusing. And then I got this one as well, which is like a satin hot press. So this one's like much smoother. And I did like a couple of things with that, and honestly, like, yeah, not really, again, not the best. I think it was just mostly because like just end up being so like timid and nervous to use expensive art supplies that you're trying not to do anything where it's obviously bad, but it does end up being pretty bad, I would say. So yeah, like this kind of just sort of color play. This as well, just kind of doing a bunch of color play. And yeah, oh, this is color play as well, but this is actually with some ink. So like that's also another great like affordable option if you want to like muck around. Like just grab some inks. Like there, I think it's like €4 for like a whole pot of it, and the color is so vibrant. And that's actually another thing that I realized as well. Like you can have kind of average paints, but if you have really good paper, like it takes whatever you put on it really well. So yeah, this is like another one. This is with the Schminker. Again, just kind of mucking around, trying to figure out like what things look like. This is like another one that I did of just like a bunch of different things. Again, like that idea of, you know, the sum of like lots of bad little paintings will make a good painting. But, you know, like, yeah. I think this Snoopy is really cute. Like this Snoopy. And then, yeah, like just mucking around again with this. This is actually not, this is not the Schminker watercolors. This is the, oh yeah, this is with the Gansai Tambi. So I did like a whole bunch of these like sort of color studies just with the Gansai Tambis that I got. I think this is like another brand. This is gouache, yeah. So that's like another option as well. I think maybe for like a beginner, I think gouache, because I don't know, I do love the flatness of gouache. Like I like flat sort of graphic looking things. So maybe that was actually probably a more correct option to go with. And so yeah, like that's pretty much it. Like yeah, I would love to know like how other people are going with watercolors and whether or not you also get like sort of trapped into this like expensive art supply vortex. And yeah, like how do you move on from here? Yeah, so thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.